Hello everyone, welcome to Trident Tarot by Devanshu Kashyap. So I present you a general pick a card reading upon what transition the upcoming solar eclipse is there to bring you in your lives. You might find this video just a day before the eclipse or maybe a few days after, so this reading will be perfectly relevant for you. And solar eclipse, eclipses are considered to be a very important events for the year and regarding how they affect on our lives because they usually bring about transformative changes in our lives. So, a check on the energies regarding what the eclipse has to offer us is something very important, and therefore, I was drawn to create this reading. So for the purpose of this reading, we are using Egyptian Tarot by Silvana Alyssia and Work Your Light Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell. I was very particularly drawn to these two decks and not the Rider-Waite for some intuitive reasons. So let us see how the reading goes, and let's move to the pile selection. The links for these decks I have mentioned in the description box. So if you would like to purchase them or maybe know about them, you may please refer to those links. So here we are at our pile selection portion of the video. So there are three methods using which you can select the piles. Either you can look at these three sigils that are drawn in front of you and the one which calls you the most. It can be one, it can be two, or it could be all of the three. Go as your intuition says and choose the pile for your reading and go to the timestamp section and select the pile that is the most relevant for you, the one that you have chosen. In case you are not drawn to make choices through you're not intuitive enough to do it through your you're not feeling drawn to the any of the piles, then you may make chits of paper, write 1, 2, and 3 on it, shuffle them, taking the divine name, and whatever chits or chit you are drawn to, that would be your pile for the reading. And the third method to select the pile is through sound. So corresponding to every pile, I'll be vocalizing a sound. And the sound which connects you the most, you may choose that pile or multiple piles in case more than one sound attracts to you. So here is the sound for pile 1. Sound for pile 2. Sound for pile 3. So these were the sounds corresponding to the three piles or the three sigils, specifically, that have been shown in front of you. So please take your time through this particular video segment to make, decide very comfortably the piles that are relevant for you through your intuition, sound, or through the paper chit method. And then now, you can pause your video at this moment for this reason. And now we will proceed to the pile 1's reading. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. So before I was shuffling your cards, I had the vision which gave me a message that the message for you, the word that is relevant for you is direction. So imagine that there is an emblem which has faces facing in all the 4 directions. So corresponding to every direction, the emblem looks, the idol that is carved on the emblem, it looks very different. In one direction, it is spreading fierce energy. In one side, it is spreading cold energy. In one side, it is giving some other sort of energy. So that emblem is actually an assortment of various personalities and emotions. So this symbolism collectively, in a way, it says to me an integration of various assortments of you, an integration of various aspects of you. Maybe so far in your life you have been trying to develop, like, different aspects of your personality, exploring them, expressing them, and learning something out of them, that when you express a certain emotion in a certain kind, so how does it affect your life when you calibrate it in different way. Like when you express your anger uh, in the state of extreme fury, then how it affects your circumstances. When you suppress your anger, how it affects your circumstances. So up to this point in your life, you have kind of experienced the, like how you express your emotions, to what extent, like you have learned how to you have kind of explored in yourself that your ability to express your emotions from the very minimum state to a very maximum state. So now is the time for it to aggregate and integrate as a whole in you. So I mean, it is something saying that you will have a balance or control in your emotions, or maybe this is a very specific message if you are an actor. So you have understood and explored the very depths of emotion that you have within you, and now you're able to calibratively express them to deliver an acting performance. However, this is very specific for artists. The same goes for singers and musicians. Like, while singing or composing music, how they're able to translate their emotions in their vocal singing voice, or in the music notes, or the scales and the kind of music they compose. Also, it could be for writers regarding the poetry they write, the kind of emotions they create while writing a novel. So now is the time where the things are integrating, and this is a step of integration where you have achieved one of the milestones for your artistic career possibly, or for your emotional management, from the point of view of staying balanced. When we look at your cards, you have Queen of Pentacles, Strength, and Six of Wands. And as their clarifiers, in the bottom row, we have the Hierophant, Magician, and Nine of Swords. So, as I just explained, that before drawing your cards, the message indicated more about being balanced. So, synonymous to that, if we look at the first column of the cards that you have got, you have Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So, Hierophant means order. Order is synonymous to balance. So, currently what you are achieving in this eclipse is, after coming out of this eclipse, is a successful transformation of orderly of an ordered assortment of your emotions, and control, like a very strong emotional control of how to express it, which is kind of very much beneficial for you for your material stability. If I say specifically what kind of material stability, maybe it is related to income, because possibly there were case you were in a quite an emotional turmoil during the time when these emotions were upsurging. You weren't able to identify them, you weren't able to calibrate them, but that is not the case now. That thing has been learned, the lesson has been learned, and you know how to manage them well. So now you are achieving some kind of, you can say, a stability, such that this internal disturbance of emotional turmoil within you is no longer affecting you, and you are able to do what you are supposed to do, rather than having to waste time in getting confused or upset about the turmoil that was inside you. So the factor of turmoil is, it's pain in itself, because transformation is not a very smooth process. Transformation can bring some pain, some shadow work might be involved, because certain parts of you need to die, and something good needs to be reborn. So that pain that you have felt temporarily, or maybe which you might feel for a little while, if you haven't reached that stage yet, that would be temporary. So better focus on releasing that, because now order is coming inside your life. That is one of the lessons, or the energies that this eclipse is bringing you: the orderly assortment and expressions of emotions for an emotionally intelligent life. So proceeding to the second column of cards, we have Strength and Magician right below it. So what these cards collectively say to me is that now, after the balance that you have achieved in your life, it is possible for you to do something, to create something substantial which is grounded, which is manifestable as well as understandable, which is no longer an idea. Like, that ideas you have in your mind, they are no longer floating in the air, but now is the time they are being created into something fruitful that can be understood by others, which has some which could have some sellable value, or which could be like consumable right now. For instance, coming to the very specific example of artists that we discussed right now, you are someone who can deliver a particular script audition in multiple emotional intensities or with multiple characters and attitudes. Similarly, if this is something which relates to your workplace, you could be someone who is very much, so much emotionally intelligent that you can deal with the day to day conflicts that used to bother you earlier, but now you will be able to handle them, eliminate them, and rise above them, which connect the dot with your previous Queen of Pentacles energy regarding getting the financial success, very much particularly right now. The Magician card underneath Strength further indicates that now your efforts of trying to create things in your environment will be more based on your truth, based on honesty, rather than on external factors, where earlier maybe you were trying to manipulate someone or trying to please someone to get things done. So now the your creations or something will come from a space of self empowerment. You will not chase for work, but the work that is suited to you will come to you, which is in alignment with you. That is what I can say. So you have crossed that struggle some strata, and now you ascend to some strata where things are easy. They're easily manifestable according to your true soul blueprint, and things are working in perfect harmony for you because you have achieved balance. Coming to the third column of cards, we have Six of Wands and Nine of Swords. So this couple of cards is nothing but a validation of your success, because if you look at Six of Wands card here, you can see a diamond shape which has further four diamond shapes, which is quite in resemblance with the vision that we have discussed in the beginning of your reading regarding the balances of four aspects of your personalities or four emotions of your personalities. The Nine of Wands underneath indicates that the unbalance that you were feeling earlier because of this imbalance within you that was not making you feel at rest or peace, but that thing has been victoriously overcome, and this is being validated by the Six of Wands card. The aggregate energy of your spread is like the peace that you would feel while basking in sunlight that is neither too hot or not too cold. It is the sunlight which we have in springtime or maybe the autumn time, where you feel drawn to sit in the sun and get nurtured from that light. And that light has a very specific characteristic to it, that it penetrates through your flesh and bones in a way that as a step one it nurtures you, and as a second step it eliminates all the diseases inside you or all the viruses inside you which are prone to cause what you say difficulty in the next coming season. Like if you are transitioning from autumn to winter or from spring to summer, so this seasonal transit kind of brings it's prone to bring some uh, seasonal diseases or problems if corrective measures are not taken on time. So this is just a metaphor to explain you the nature of energy that you are currently being surrounded by after the eclipse. So you will definitely step into the next phase of your life, which will be another learning phase, because the thing that you are going through right now is very interim towards your ultimate goal. But the obstacles which a common man without this blessing that you have right now would feel, you certainly have an added advantage towards them, because this is a very it's the kind of transition that you're going through right now is very nurturing for you, and it is prone to protect you like, if you look at the metaphor of sunlight, which nurtures you and eliminates all the diseases. So the unnecessary challenge due to the change that you might have to undergo in near future after the eclipse, you will not feel the unnecessary troubles. Rather, you will be like, you just need to focus on your task, what you have to do, without unnecessary surrounding worries. Also, specifically for some of you, there is a message of improved gut health. Like, this transition is providing you an opportunity to improve your gut health. So you might like to consider investing in probiotics. However, this message is very, very specific. The card deck that we used for your tarot reading is Egyptian Tarot by Silvana Alyssia. Please let me check the authoress. Yeah, it's Silvana Alyssia. And the oracle cards we used for your reading are Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So now I'll be taking up the cards from this deck and telling you the message that it has for you. The cards you have received are Inner Temple, Devotion, Tune into the portal of your heart, and Dance with Life. Do something to change your energy. Collectively, this the message from these cards is that you are now in harmony and in touch with yourself. The conflict that you had with yourself internally as well with yourself externally, which was possibly due to misunderstanding of what is happening inside you is truly is, that conflict has gone now. And still, if it hasn't gone, the manifestation work that you can do is to rejoice being what you are without having the obligation to be something else, because it is conventionally believed to be something else to achieve your milestone. So now it is more about appreciating what you truly are, irrespective of what the opinions around it are, and kind of celebrating your existence. Because when you'll do this, you are sending the message of gratitude to the universe, which will in turn put the strength card in operation, because these two cards are lying above the strength card, if I say so. You the more you love and accept yourself, and the more in tune you are with yourself internally as well as externally, the more you will manifest the outer circumstances which would be in your favor. So this was all about your message regarding the solar eclipse transition that you might be going through, you will go through. And thank you very much for listening to this reading. Please do like this video, share it with others with whom you resonate, and thank you very much for listening to the content. Hello Pile 2, welcome to your reading. Before shuffling your cards, I requested for a message that is very specific for you. So what I received was the stages of alchemy, the art of converting water into gems, not gold, but gems, crystals, very precious crystals. So now let us shuffle your cards and see how this message regarding alchemy is relevant for your situation. So the tarot cards that are presented in front of you are 3 columns, right? The upper row is the message and the lower row are the corresponding clarifiers to further enrich the explanation. So these cards have been taken from Egyptian Tarot by Silvana Alyssia, and the other deck that you are seeing are the oracle cards from the Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell. The first column of cards, where we have the Magician and the Two of Cups, it suggests that now you have reached the stage in your life where you are ready to begin your journey of alchemy. The alchemy hasn't yet completely manifested in your life, but the journey for the attitude of being an alchemist has just begun. And possibly for some reason it feels to me that earlier you used to be a very logical person, that there is you didn't believe in the new age concepts, you didn't believe that something like manifestation exists, you didn't believe in these things, where there was a lot of spirituality involved. But Now there is some transition happening, or if you had started believing in these things, the you are starting to, like, dive yourself deep into this learning work, so that you can learn the process of spiritual manifestations or any other concepts of spirituality. Because the first two cards actually show that your journey to be a magician, the manifester, has just begun, and the two of cups is kind of indicating me that it has just started. You are in the beginning stages of it, but there is a while for you to kind of reach the reach the end of being a perfect alchemist. A very important part of your vision was your journey to learn to manifest water into crystals, into precious diamonds and crystals. So what you are currently possibly working on is to believe in the impossible, to believe in the possibility of miracles, to believe in the possibility of non-linear existence. Because in order to be a magician or an alchemist, it is very, very important to be open to possibilities and not be very restricted or restrained about how things can go in a certain way. So the eclipse, after the eclipse, the change that in this direction you're feeling is overcoming resistance to, believe in the possibility, to believe in non-linear possibilities, non-conventional possibilities. So your belief system to be open to accept things, your acceptability for possibilities is improving after the eclipse. Now coming to your second column of cards, you have the Sun and the King of Pentacles. So when I look at the Sun card, it is actually a renewed sun. Like Sun, after coming out of the eclipse in your life, in a very personal way to you, has gone through a renewal of your perception towards existence. So in the Sun card, I'm very much drawn to these, these 9 hand-like shapes that are coming out of the Sun. So these hands actually mean, I think they conventionally they mean rays of the sun, but since they are appearing in form of hands, they indicate that these hands are support from the universe for you to give you assistance in your journey towards your transformation towards being an alchemist. Also in the lower card, which is the King of Pentacles, I'm again drawn to these hands, that out of the 9 hands that are provided from the sun, the king is able to receive 4 of them. So your process of receptivity of support that is being offered to you by the universe is its evolution is in progress. That particular thing is in progress for you. And also if I look at the images on these 2 cards, so the first one looks to me like a priestess or Isis, and the second one is I can say Osiris. So if we examine Egyptian history, so there was an episode in which Osiris, for some reason, through deception, was cut into several parts, and Isis reassembled him. So the process of reassembling him, to resurrect him, to bring him back to life, kind of gave him an apotheosis. By apotheosis, I mean it made him godly. So he was able to, through this experience of cutting and rejoining, with the help of his wife, Isis, he was able to evolve from human to God, which is something happening in your case as well, that you are transforming, from a very limited belief system to being an alchemist. So the metaphor of Osiris being dissected kind of gives me a message that some transformation will be approaching towards you, which the pain involved in it, or you can say the disturbance which will be involved in the process of transiting from one state of existence to the other. You need to kind of surrender to that for your evolution process. This experience that you will be going through, maybe in your present or after some time in near present after the eclipse, will be very much substantial towards your evolution. So don't resist something where your intuition tells you, yes, that I need to submit myself to this process for evolution. Do not try to resist it. It will come from a space of gentleness and love, rather than being something explosive as being dissected. Because I just gave an example of what the story of Isis and Osiris was. So your journey of transformation is about to start after somewhere around the eclipse. And also you can relate it to the example of how the butterfly evolves itself. the last stage of it, when it has to open out of its chrysalis, that is a painful stage for it. It has to use its fullest power and go through a lot of discomfort to release itself as a butterfly. So this card is kind of an indication of that journey as well, for you to begin. But the good thing about this is that you have divine support in this, because there are plenty of hands being outstretched from the sun, which is possibly divine support or maybe your ancestral support. Also, in some specific cases, this alchemy thing could mean that your ancestral beliefs are being transformed, like some thinking pattern or some practices that you have been following through ancestry. So I think you are the chosen one or the ambassador in that generation who is supposed to break that chain, who's supposed to break those belief system transformations and take things further with a freshened and renewed perspective. So that also resembles, with that metaphor of water being transmuted into diamond crystals. So breaking the chain and following a new thought pattern, following new patterns of practical living, which is not dogmatic, which is not some junk that is being carried out through past belief systems, is will be transformed through you, and that will in turn give blessings and healing to your entire ancestral predecessors. The last column of cards you have is Knave of Chalices, which is the Page of Cups and Ten of Pentacles. So this very strongly gives me one single message that in order to help you in your life journey post the eclipse, you need to get into the habit of journaling. Like fix one time of day, possibly I think night will be the best for it, or very early you get up in the morning. I think for some people it is both the morning as well as the night time. You need to kind of journal some of your important experiences of life, or if you are a spiritual person who's into card readings or something, you can pull a card for yourself regarding the day, how your was, and validate it with the card that you get at the night. So by journaling all these cards, you can make some notes that how the cards correspond to your daily experiences, or the journaling can be of different kind regarding what experience you had today, how it made you feel, and how you can that like what is that feeling trying to tell you, how you can release that feeling, is that feeling important for you or not, because the note taking part is being done in the cups card if you look at the deck. So using cards for journaling could be one possibility, but I think mostly it is about journaling the emotions that you're feeling in the morning versus at night time, and kind of introspecting on them, that where these feelings are coming from and what they are trying to tell you. So this practice on a daily basis, or maybe coupled with your dream, when you get up you can journal about your dream experiences as well, regarding what you felt yesterday or what you're feeling in the morning. So this emotional churning will kind of give you some messages or hints regarding what needs to be changed, or how you need to proceed with your venture of being an alchemist further, because the card underneath it is 10 of Pentacles, which means material abundance. So all these ideas of yours, that the journal that you prepare, that will make you it will create a volume for you, or you can say your self handwritten book, which could act as a valuable resource for your journey in this in your alchemical pursuit. Another message that the 10 of Pentacles card provides me is that you need to keep a check on your temptation. If you have to succeed in something, you don't have to be a person who swallows or conquers everything, every opportunity, or maybe something that is on their path. You need to be very careful and selective about how you can do things to fulfill yourself without snatching the portion of work, or without snatching somebody else's rightfully deserved thing. If you happen to realize that your action to conquer something or take something in is creating deficiency for the other person, you need to be very mindful of that, because if you do this, then in later future this application of alchemy to such corrupt pursuits might affect you in a bad way, in as a karmic consequence further in future. So be very mindful of the resources that you're acquiring, and how you are using them, and are you being a harmonious person, that you do something and also allow others to do things. For example, if you are an artist, so it doesn't mean that you have to steal all stages. Suppose in a month there are 10 stage performance opportunities and you are a seasoned artist, so it doesn't mean that in the next month as well you have to take a performance in all the 10 stages, and do not give the opportunity to other peer actors or artists to give their performance on stage. So like I think out of 10 opportunities, like 3 or 4 can be enough for you, because you're already an established artist, and you don't have to be a conqueror, you don't have to steal the space of others to stay in limelight. So make sure that the opportunities or anything that you see on your path, you are doing justice to it. You use as much as you want, and you also give room to the other people, so that you coexist with others in harmony. And this card connects the dots with the Two of Cups cards, because mutuality is also the important part of the alchemy. Alchemy is not a single person's journey. It needs to have intentions for the good of everyone. I mean, alchemical process or manifestation is not for selfish personal reasons. It is for the good of self, for fulfillment of self as well as the others. So you need to be mindful of this tendency and let it go, because I think this emotion is very important for you to be released in the for your regarding your transformation journey. Summatively, the overall energy of your spread is ascension. Ascension towards might, like ascension towards the soaring in joy. I mean, the kind of feeling that you get while sitting in a parachute, or maybe in a plane, you can say. I don't know plane is that entertaining or not, but if you have ever had the opportunity to ride on a parachute, so that is a very joyful feeling. So I mean, that is what this eclipse is bringing you. The entire transformation process will be very enjoyable for you. You will enjoy everything, no matter what emotions and experiences it brings to you. The overall journey is going to be fabulous, and it would be like soaring into joy. Your oracle cards from Work Your Light deck by Rebecca Campbell are Ladies, Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity, and Mirror, Who or What is Triggering You. See, I'm very sorry for the background noises, because there is heavy rainfall happening here, and even it's thundering outside. So please excuse me for this. But I just hope my voice is being clearly audible to you, because I feel that is important, that the message should reach you, and I should be very less concerned about the environmental factors which are creating a very minor disturbance. So now let us see what the oracle is about to tell you. The context of these cards, from design perspective, is very extraterrestrial, but in your specific cases, the message I get is like a repetition of what we have already discussed. The images of people in the card one, I think they are your ancestors, and in the second image, the person who is looking in the his reflection in the water is you. So you are doing ancestral healing by reflecting upon your emotions and tendencies, and trying to break the chain and renew your patterns, so that you are healed, you are transformed, as well as your ancestral lineage in the process gets transformed as well. So your oracle cards are fundamentally a summation of what we discussed in your tarot card reading previously. As such, there is no new message coming out of it. In the second card, there are roses. I mean, if you can see, there are some rose towards the left side of the mirror card, which imply like a very open heart, a very healed heart, a heart that is very loving, feminine, and receptive. So I mean, that is also what this card is telling us, that we have to be very gentle on ourselves, very we need to honor and admire the feminine values inside that, because it's the feminine side which believes in possibilities of miracles. So this is also one of the message to focus on nurturing your feminine side, rather than being too much impulsive, too much masculine, and being too much logical and fact based, that this doesn't happen. I mean, manifestations don't work. Like these things are stupid. It has to be very logical and perfect. So this is the message that is indicated for you through the oracle cards. So thank you very much for listening to the reading. Please do like it, share it with the people whom you feel aligned to, and please subscribe the channel. Hello pile 3, welcome to your reading. For the purpose of this reading, we are using Egyptian tarot cards by Elena Silvesia, and for the oracle cards, we are using Work Your Light cards by Rebecca Campbell. So prior to shuffling your cards, I requested for a message, and I got the vision of, a very tightly wound spring, like, the spring that we have where we, feed the key, like, we rotate the key, and like feed the, what you call, the force, you can say, for those toys which work through keys that we used to have in childhood. Like there used to be a clapping clown toy. We used to wind the keys, and then as soon as we release the key, it started clapping. So that kind of pressure release I'm feeling in your case. So I think now, so far in your life, I think you have been gathering things, or you can say like you were trying to. I'm not sure if I have to say that you were trying to, but life was treating you in a way that, a lot of force was being generated inside you, that I can say. And now is the time to release it. Now is the time for that force to gush out as a spring, you can say. Or now is the time for the toy which has been fed enough rotated keys. Now that toy will start clapping. So releasing the accumulated force over time is one of the important transitions that this eclipse is bringing to you. This could possibly mean, a lot of work that you have done, or a lot of, things that you have held in yourself, and you're waiting for the right time to express it. I think now you're being presented with the opportunity to do that, and that, that expression of you will be so forceful, so impactful, that it will have a lot of momentum to it, which means a lot of success, visibility, and no chance of any corruption or toxic competition on it, because that force will be your niche, that will be your own unique identity, and that will be some identity to your work. You will be identified through what you're doing, you will be identified through your work. So this is one of the messages that I'm getting. It took me a while to interpret it, so sorry for that. So presented on your screen are your tarot cards. The upper row is the message that you have, and the lower row cards are the clarifiers to that. So when I look at your cards, like I feel that you are a very spiritually intelligent person. You understand that how universe works, how the forces of universe works, how, the planetary transitions and everything. You already know how it works. You're wise enough, and you know what to do so as not to put yourself into some embarrassing or, disturbing circumstances. You are a very, very wise person, it says. So if I look at the first column of your card, which has the tower and the three of wands. So, the thing that I just discussed with you, that, I had a vision of you being ejected, like not ejected. You have been waiting for the right time, holding all the force within you, and now you are finding the right time to release it. So this message doesn't come to like, in your case, it doesn't come in a very destructive way, but it comes in a wise way, that you waited for the right time to take some action, rather than having done in past and going through a destructive moment, like which is the traditional interpretation of tarot for the tower card. But in your case, you have understood and utilized the tower energy very wisely. So so rather than being some person who was fitting himself into wrong circumstances, and then universe gives you a kick or push by throwing thunder on you to dismantle all that corrupt thing that you have done so far, and giving you the opportunity to restart it from a fresh and, self-loving and more healthy perspective, you decided to wait and not fit yourself into something that wasn't meant for you, but you waited for the right time now, which is being indicated by the tower. And the explosive nature of tower is actually you, like unwinding all the energy that you had held inside you. And that is in a very good way, in a very creative way, so that you have your own niche and identity with regards to whatever you are doing. So there is nothing to feel like scared about the tower card. Even in other way around, the tower card is not so scary. But the three of wands beneath it symbolizes that you have found the right opportunities for, to express these abilities of yours, or maybe the talents that you have. I mean, whatever you are trying to do, talent is one of the example that I keep giving on, so that you can relate it to your situation. So now is the time where this eclipse is presenting you with the opportunities to kind of loosen up, to kind of express yourself, because you have succeeded in finding the right conducive environment for you. So there's no need to contain yourself, just gush yourself with full force and passion, and success is definitely yours. Very clearly, this is the time for you to blossom. And I consider it as sign, while I was making this video, there was a lot of thunder and rain happening, but when I started your reading, it all went away. So rejoice, 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 rejoice. The second card we have for you is the Moon and the Queen of Swords. This shows that you are very, very, very emotionally intelligent person. As I told you, you understand everything. You understand sensitivity. You acknowledge it. You appreciate it. You have learned to live with it. So the Queen of Swords is telling me that the influence Moon has on you. It usually creates turmoil in our emotions and make us, go woo 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 in a very in a very disturbing way, because our emotions are affected by the Moon. But you have strong control on your emotions. You learn you trust your intuition. Your I think even your masculine side is strong. You know when to take the right action and when not to take it. So you are being actually blessed, the Moon, which was supposedly, I think in your case, about to bring something not good into you. But since you have learned the lesson of emotional handling, or maybe you have learned certain lessons in your past through your experiences, so instead of creating the troubles for you or penalties for you, the planetary circumstances currently are actually blessing you, which is which is not supposed to be the conventional case astrologically. But you have learned the lessons, so you have the rewards now. And I kind of think that you are a person of like I mean, your age is not very young. You are a I think middle-aged person physically, or maybe mentally. If your age is young, you are much much wiser beyond your years. You know how to like you understand how universe works, how life works. You have a very fair and excellent understanding of that. So through this second column of card, I see that you are attuning yourself more to the cycles of the Moon. You're doing a lot of work with the Moon, and the energy that you had contained yourself so strongly within. So yeah, you are doing things in alignment, with the conducive, you can say, the planetary factors, so that you can reap the maximum reward out of it. Wherever required, you are doing the release work as well as the manifestation work corresponding to the Moon cycles. So the overall message, so far from the universe regarding the eclipse for you is like letting yourself loose, letting yourself be at ease now. The last column for of cards for you is the Five of Pentacles and Seven of Wands. So symbolically, these cards are very different from the Rider Waite, and I don't feel driven to interpret them according to the traditional interpretation. I'll go with the symbolism that is shown here. So the Five of Pentacles to me says ever multiplying ability, ever multiplying. Whatever your focus is on, it is multiplying even more and more. So you know it already that you have to focus on thoughts or possibilities which you want rather than something which you don't want. So that is not needed for me actually to say. But the I mean the this thing, like I can see that snakes are coming out of the what you call this the middle coin that is there in the card. So every other coin is like capable of releasing these creatures in different directions. So you know that how the thing operates, how the coins operate, that they have to release creatures. So now what kind of creatures you want to release, or if these coins are capable of releasing certain kind of creatures, so where you want them to go, whether you want these creations to be in your favor, or you want to kind of use them in worry, or like something that you don't want to manifest. So I mean, this is the part where you need to keep checking and being mindful of, which you can take the, like the help of these moon cycles to release the worrisome tendencies and focusing more on manifesting what you really want. And in the Seven of Wands card, the swan is actually for me, it means an ambassador of knowledge and wisdom. So you, wisdom in some ways coming to you. If I relate it with the number seven, so numerologically, number seven is intuition. So your meditation work, your daily spiritual practices of like journaling or maybe getting answers, you are getting wisdom on how to proceed with the situations in life. And um, and this wisdom is, I can say, it is helping you to surpass or overcome any conflicting or challenging situations. But it's not about that. It is about, you being able to successfully find your identity and niche. Like every artist or every person who does business on this earth, they have to find something, which uniquely identifies them. The something, in which they are very true to themselves, and that acts as their, the niche of the business that they're supposed to follow. Every artist or every professional has a niche to themselves. So I mean, you have found it now. This eclipse is bringing you to that point, where by error and trial, with the immense energy that you have accumulated since so long, you're able to find your niche. You're able to find, like who your target consumer is, what you're actually supposed to do, and what is your place and purpose on this earth. You have actually found it. You have found identity of yourself, which is devoid of any conflict or competition or any drama. And I also get, that this time for you was a very, very long wait. You had waited a long time because you are in your middle years right now, possibly, or maybe if you are young, you had to wait a lot. I mean, it was a huge test of your patience. You have succeeded in this exam of patience. This eclipse is actually a reward, it's bringing rewards to you. And you will reap much, much more than what a normal person reaps in the pursuit you are in. And while I said this, there was 11:55 on my voice recorder. So this validates that you will receive much, much than a normal person receives, and you have succeeded in your examination or test of patience. The overall energy of the spread is very calming, very intuitive, and uh, I can feel immense peace. And the reason for immense peace, this in the spread, is that you are in alignment with your truth. You're living your truth. Your your actions and your values are aligned. They coincide. This is something, that is bringing a lot of comfort or maybe a lot of peace in your life. So the overall message of your spread is a true alignment with your truth, which is good, which is very good. And I'm astonished, that for all the three piles we had very good messages. There was nothing very challenging or negative that the eclipse is bringing. And since this eclipse is happening in Aries, so after completing its cycle through all the 12 signs or rashis, now it is happening in Aries with the new moon. So it's definitely a very nice time for everyone, including you. So now let us proceed to the oracle cards and see what they have to say. So the oracle cards for you that we have got are: answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So while interpreting these cards, I wish to draw, to connect the dots with the tarot cards we have received. So the Five of Pentacles card in your case, traditionally, see, Five of Pentacles means support, but I like here it means that whatever your thoughts are, the creatures that are coming out of those coins, as I described earlier, how would you like them to behave, or what kind of creatures would you like to choose to come out of them? So based on your thought patterns and intentions, the nature of your journey will be kind of decided by this particular thing. So it's pretty obvious that you understand manifestation. You understand like how to work in sync with the moon and all these factors. So um, it shows me, these cards kind of show that the journey that you have planned is it appears very big. If I look at the first card, the girl sitting is quite overwhelmed by the mountains. But the next card shows that things are not so bad. The path is very plain and the mountains are very mild. So the message for you is to keep moving forward. Just take small steps every day. There is no need to feel overwhelmed by it, because the first picture also shows kind of a moonrise, you can say. It's a metaphorically, these cards are kind of designed from an extraterrestrial perspective, but in your particular case they show that this is a new beginning. This is maybe a sunrise happening in your life, and things from a distant perspective might seem very overwhelming, but know one thing, that in this time, I'm talking about the last column of tarot cards, you we had Seven of Wands card, which means finding your niche and identity. So you might be feeling that it will be a very difficult process for me to do it, but that is not the case. The journey is quite it shows that it's very smooth and simple. Even though there are desert there is a desert terrain, there is a water terrain, there are a lot of terrains on your journey, but you are supported. You're supported by your intentions, which are on the right path, and you trust your goal. You had accumulated a lot of energy. This reading in particular is a support for you, which validates that things are going to be fine. You will reach your destination soon. You are at the last steps of it. So don't get overwhelmed by the this illusionary picture that is being shown to you, because Seven of Wands is also like an over exaggeration, like making you feel like the things are very difficult and very impossible to achieve, but that is an illusion. And the Tower card is here to dismantle that. I mean, the Tower card was also the energy you contained, you are gushing it with full force, but it's also dismantling the falseness that is around you. So trust your path, don't compromise. You know what you have to do, just go on doing it. Pay gratitude for like whatever support you are getting, no matter if it is just 2 3 persons or 100 people, because the more gratitude you'll send, the more intentions you'll good intentions you're going to put to it, the more it will amplify and the more you will get. But you are at the end of it, you are in your final journey to reach. And I mean, these things that I'm telling you, these are just recalls for you. You might have journaled it somewhere, but this reading is kind of a recall for you. You already have a spiritual experience, you are extremely wise person. So this reading is just for you. Basically, I was kind of while doing your reading, I was feeling that why do I even need to say all these things to you, because you already know it. But since you're watching these readings, I think they are kind of reminders for you that this is how the manifestation works. So wishing you all the best and congratulations for reaching your goal. And please do like and share it with the people you feel alignment with, and please do subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much.